In this lesson, we're going to look at an iterator-based loop called the for-in loop. But to start, we're going to cover one more iterator that we didn't talk about in the last lesson, and that's the each iterator. So let's start a new program. First thing I'm going to do is create an array, which consists of just the numbers 1 through 5. Now I'd like to iterate over that array and display each number in the array. And we can do that using the each iterator. Having trouble finding the bar. Let's run this program and see what it does. So you see how the each iterator works. It simply pulls out each element of a container, array, or whatever else that it is. And in this case, we're assigning it to the variable x, and then we print x and then a new line. We can do the same thing using a loop called a for-in loop. Let's see how it works. Here we're saying for num in nums, in other words, for each number in numbers, or for each num in nums. So we're pulling out each element of the collection and storing it in a singular variable, and then we do something with that value. Let's see how that works. Let's clear the screen, run the program again, and you see we get the same result. So the each iterator and the for-in loop work exactly the same. And I would leave it up to you as to decide which construct you like better. I've mentioned this before, but if you come from a traditional background in programming, most programming languages have something similar to the for-in loop. Sometimes it's called for each, or sometimes even for-in. You might prefer that method. Or you might prefer to use the each iterator. It's really up to you. They are semantically the same, just a little syntactically different. Just to demonstrate a common program, let's sum the first 10 integers again using a for-in loop. And we'll just start over again. Actually, let's not start over again. Let's just take our nums array, extend it to 10 integers, create a sum variable, and then display the result. Let's run the program. And we get our trusty 55. So here is yet another way to iterate over a collection of data, this time using the for-in loop. It's very easy to understand, very easy to formulate. And as I say often, for people coming from another programming language, this is probably the easiest of the iterators to understand because it's very similar to what you already know. So that wraps up this lesson on the for-in loop and also the each iterator. And we're ready to move to the next lesson where we're going to look at how to break out of loops prematurely and how to change the iteration of loops using some special commands.